What's happening, folks? It is Voch the Lombardi. I don't know when y'all watching this. It could be in the morning. You could be on your lunch break. It could be right before you go to bed. But I appreciate you for tuning in and choosing to be here with me. We're going to watch some film on Andrew Thomas, left tackle, number 71, Georgia. That's the red jersey in case you wasn't up on game. Let's talk about him a little bit. He got a handful of traits that I really like, and we're going to talk about some things that I wish were different. So please hang tight there. But right here, number 71, left tackle, right? The reason I picked this Notre Dame film was because I think it properly represents the player. We got some pretty good competition. DJ Khaled on this side, Julian's right there. Some pretty good three-tech work up in there. We're gonna get some pretty good football terminology going. So it should be a fun little show, man. But if you're a fan of Andrew Thomas, you're a fan of his run blocking, because that's what he does really well. That's the one thing that stands out the most. When you just see him come off the ball, and let's just kind of evaluate this a little bit, right? We see some pretty good knee bend, fantastic. Hands are in a place where he can work and navigate. Hat level's pretty cool. Then watch his hips right here, right? Watch him uncoil his hips right there. Let me do it in slow motion so you can see it. Boom. See that? That means I'm hitting you with some kind of power and I want to move you. Okay. There's not a lot of good offensive linemen in the National Football League. So what you end up getting with a lot of O-linemen is this concept called hat on hat. If you can just simply engage with someone while we're running a zone run concept and just let the running back pick the hole, pick the grass or whatever, then you're in good shape. What's so good about Andrew is that not only does he hat on hat people, but he actually gets movement. Okay. And I guess another way to say hat on hat is like a stalemate or whatever. You see a lot of offensive linemen stalemate. You don't get too much stalemating with Andrew Thomas. I'm gonna tell you why in a handful of techniques later. You don't see him stalemate too much. You see him get some kind of movement. Take a look at this second play here. We're gonna see him do the same kind of deal, right? We're gonna see him consistency there. Come off the ball, boom, hands, good knee bend, good hat level, and that's how he wins. I'm gonna show you another technique that he uses to win these run blocking engagements or whatever. So take a look at this. All right, here we go, y'all. We got Andrew Thomas right here, 71, left tackle. This is something I really wanted to show y'all, so just tell your kids to leave the room, cover their eyes and ears, because this is about to be some O-line porn right here. This is one of those techniques that really just shows off how much polish a player really has, and it solidifies their spot with gorillas, man. Take a look at what 71 Andrew Thomas does to 41. He's going to bump down in the B gap, and just look at what he does to him real fast. Just watch this. Watch this, man. He's going to bump down in the B gap, and we're going to use this one technique that we use in the run game. Ow! I think we're going to call this a tactical lean. Chat box, everybody, please hashtag that right now in my chat box, in my comment section. A tactical lean. What does that mean? It's when you use your weight to your advantage in the run game, right? Now, you just can't be out here using your weight, leaning on people just to lean on people, because you'll lose balance, you'll fall forward. But if you just find that sweet spot to use your weight to become heavier, then you drive your feet. Because take a look at Andrew's feet. Hold on, he ain't just falling on folk. He's driving as he's dropping his 315, 320 pounds on top of you. Combine nerds, help me out. How much Andrew Thomas really weigh? He's dropping that on top of you and moving his feet, comboing this power and this size right here, right? That's polish right there, man. That's God level O-line play. Let's take a look at this one, man. Same concept, right? Boom, using my weight, I'm gonna lean on you, right? I'm gonna move my feet, passing you along to the combo, getting to the second level, getting hands on the linebacker, man. I am so impressed with Andrew Thomas as a run blocker, and we'll talk about his pass blocking in a minute. Just hang tight, man. But let's just enjoy what he's doing in the run game, man. This movement that he's creating. Take a look at what he does at this three-tech right here. He's going to hit him with another tactical lean, right? Now, all tactical leans aren't like the last few that we saw where we're leaning and we're taking people to the ground. It's not always that. Sometimes it's just enough weight distribution just to get you, moving in that direction. And then I'll just get back on my toes, get back over my knees and just just proceed to move you out the way. Like, that's a lot of movement that we getting right there. You know what I mean? You can't help but to be a fan of the good old tactical lean, man. Take a look at this. And I give this touchdown credit to Andrew Thomas. Take a look at him. He's right here. He's going to get some movement going. He's going to end up sealing the linebacker off, and he's going to be the reason why this is a touchdown for DeAndre Swift there, man. You just can't beat this with a stick, man. Looking for work, man. You can't complain when your offensive lineman is looking for work. What does that mean by looking for work? Well, if I step down and ain't nobody there, I need to find somebody to hit. We're looking for work. And because Andrew boom stepped down and he looked for work and he sealed up 40, that's a whole 6 points right here. Hey, man, I wasn't even going to show this play, but take note, young tackles. This is what happens when you find work. All offensive linemen, just that's what you do, man. You get those little hits like that, man. Just don't come in my trenches with your head down, man. What the hell wrong with you, dog? And you dropped your hat. And now he got to get grass all over his gold pants and just messing up his clothes and his white. YouTube Illuminati is taking money away from your favorite content creators, and people often ask the best way to support the channel directly. I tell them that's subscribing to my Patreon. Just $1 a month would increase production and the frequency of uploads. Basically, that means more content for you. For less than a bag of almond M&Ms, you can support the channel, call dibs on requests for future videos, and you can have access to Patreon exclusive material like my throwback film sessions. That's patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. I appreciate the support. Doski Woski. Salute. Let's just hate on Andrew Thomas real quick. You ain't got much to hate on because I think he's a really good pass blocker. But if you got any reservation, it's coming from that side of the field, man. It's just a handful of technique things that I would like to tweak. And I don't even think this makes him a bad player. I just think he'll be a much better player if he wasn't a victim of coaching philosophy here, right? Take a look at Andrew and how he's dealing with this defensive end here, right? This little high hand clamp move is apparently real hot in the streets. It seems like, everybody's saying that there's not a lot of good offensive linemen in the league. Well, because they're out here teaching this goofy little hand clamp, this high hand clamp thing, when we should be teaching hands inside. It's just a difference of coaching philosophy. Whatever. Don't hate on me for that. But when we have this high hand clap, what happens with these offensive linemen is that their arms get real wide and it exposes their chest, and the defender ends up getting hands inside. And when they get hands inside, they kind of control you a little bit, right? And I know that they coaching that because I'm looking over at the right tackle. Let's look at him, and he's doing the same thing, man. Just open arms, man. Just real goofy looking, giving up their chest. I can't stand it. I would much rather Andrew get his hands on the defender as quick as possible, right? But instead we see the defender got hands in the middle of Andrew and he kind of gave up a little ground. Now, I will say, once Andrew gets hands on people, they tend to stop moving. That's how I know he's a good pass blocker, right? Because his movement is good, his feet is good, and his hands are relatively good. They're just in the wrong place. But once he gets hands on people, you see that power start to come out. Let me show you another example. So, like, Andrew never gets overpowered by either of these defensive ends in the run game, right? So I know they're not stronger than him. I know they're not. But let's just take a look at 71 right now, then we'll come back and we'll look at it, right? Just very unsure with his hands, and I know that's a damn coaching thing, right? And with that uncertainty of his hands, he allows Julian Okwara to get his hands inside, and hell, man, Andrew kind of gets picked up off the ground here, man. He's not strong right here, man. But instead, I want Andrew to be able to get his hands on guys quickly to punch them first. And there are some examples. I'm gonna show y'all in a little bit. There are examples of, get off my screen. There's some examples of Andrew getting hands on the defender first, probably because the defender just engaged with him quicker, or just some kind of gap exchange, something like that. Let me just show you an example of what happens when Andrew can finally get hands on people first. All right, take a look at Andrew on this play. Watch this. Kick, 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 kick. Goofy little hand exchange. But once he gets hands on you, you're done. You stop moving. Ball game, right? The same kind of Andrew that we know and love with the knee bend and the solid base and the hat level low, all that good stuff, right? I know once he gets hands on people, he's fine. He just got to get hands on people. And I know he was ready to do that little goofy high hand stuff because you see how he exposes his chest right there. I can't stand that. Hands are going to get inside and we get a solid block here. Kick, kick, kick. Boom, hands. Block's done. And the same here. Andrew Thomas here. He's going to kick. Get hands on guy, boom, you stop moving, right? I just think Andrew would be a lot more consistent in the pass game if you let him be quicker with his hands, guard his insides, and just let him get the inside of the defender, whoever the defender may be. If you allow Andrew, I think I called him Andre by accident. If you allowed Andrew to purposely aim and attack for the defender's chest plates or whatever, Andrew will get hands on people quicker, and that'll allow him to be powerful, more powerful quicker. You know what I mean? Let's look at one more thing and we're gonna get up out of here. Something else I noticed, I just want Andrew to be a little more patient when he's dealing with gap exchanges. Like, he want to beat the hell out of people so bad that when people crosses his face, he goes with them instead of being a little more patient in the pass game. Take a look at him here at left tackle. Watch this. We're going to get a gap exchange. Boom, boom, boom. He wants to beat the hell out of this dude, so he wants to go with you. But we got a gap exchange to the outside. Now, Andrew Thomas is good enough to recover and get back outside and, you know, try to get a hand on this dude before Jake from State Farm, just dies back there. But this would have been a lot smoother if you would have passed him along, stayed square, and you would have seen this gap exchange happen, and then you'll just move along. But because you wanted to crash down inside real heavy with him, you missed this dude going behind him. And the same thing here. We got another gap exchange to the outside, and we're just gonna he's just gonna wanna, you know, smoke and crash down on guys so hard, man, that he has to overcompensate for that just to get back outside, man. Really weird habit, but that just shows how aggressive and angry he plays football. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of Andrew Thomas, man. I'm a big fan of him. Of course, there's that one hand thing that I want to be different, but I know that once he gets to the next level in the National Football League, man, some coach is just gonna let him get hands inside on people, and he's gonna go right back to smoking kids, man. And that kind of, you know, when you think about the rankings of these guys, right? Because I think the big conversation is when it comes to OT number one, it's out of Becton, it's out of Thomas, and of Jedrick Wills, of course. So which of those guys is offensive tackle number one? And I think if you consider the actual physical traits from Andrew, I think Andrew is a more physically talented player than some others or whatever. While others may be raw, he has more polish than others, to where one may be more of a balanced package, and he may not be as good as Andrew at one thing, but he's better than Andrew as another thing, right? So we kind of got to figure out what we really like about these tackles, and, you know, then we'll come to grade them accordingly. All right. So, just in case there's somebody asking me, yo, Voch, where do you rank Andrew Thomas? Is he your OT number 1, 2, or 3? I don't know yet.